On this episode of Missouri Life, we're pulling back the curtain on Callaway County. I'm Meredith Haynes. Thanks for joining me on another exploration of Missouri life. Today, we're embarking on an exciting journey through Callaway County, where history, flavor, and adventure intertwine. We'll savor the local delights, uncover the echoes of Winston Churchill's speech at Westminster College, and immerse ourselves in captivating landscapes and wildlife. From culinary discoveries to stories of the past, we're about to experience the heart and soul of Callaway County. In the rural area just south of Fulton, almost every aspect of Missouri's diverse landscape can be found at Prarie Garden Trust. Lorna and Henry Domke meticulously cultivate native plants and wildlife for this beautiful, natural garden. Their mission is to inspire people to experience the beauty of nature in a variety of enhanced native habitats. How many acres did we get to see today?
Well, we only saw a small part of the property. I mean, we're managing about 540 acres, almost a square mile, but the main walking part's probably 20 or 30 acres.
We saw a lot.
Well, that's part of what we want to do is show people not just Prairie. The name Prarie Garden Trust makes you think it's just Prairie, and that is a third of our property. But there's also swamps, there's bluffs, there's creeks, there's ponds, there's deep forest, there's bottomland forest, all these different habitats.
The lotus ponds, all the lilies that you have here, I think those might be my favorite. I think they're gorgeous.
Well, those are two of my favorite. I mean, those are spectacular flowers, and the thing that a lot of people don't understand is that American lotus is a native Missouri wildflower. The lotus blossoms, you know, they're as big as a head of cabbage, and they're fabulous. And water lilies are spectacular. You get in close and look at the detail and the beauty.
Can we talk about the coral reef? Because I think that is a gem that that you guys have, and there are not a lot of places that have it.
People are always surprised when I say, hey, do you want to see our coral reef? But we do have a coral reef, almost as big as this big slab of concrete here, that is from the Devonian era, maybe 320 million years ago, when the Earth had Missouri closer to the equator, and this was the edge of the ocean, and this was a coral reef right here. And so it's fossilized, and you can see individual corals embedded in the rock. It's pretty cool.
How did this even come to be? Because I think that story in itself is pretty interesting.
Well, it goes back to my parents. You know, we moved here in 1970, and they bought a small property, 50, 60 acres, something like that. They were really interested in the environment. My dad had grown up in Kansas and was interested in Prairie. And because Prairie is such a threatened habitat globally, they wanted to see if they could recreate Prairie here. So that was kind of the birth of it. And then Lauren and I moved out here in the early 80s, and we started to buy property around the Prarie Garden Trust until it grew to what it is today.
You're talking decades of very intentional plantings and creations that were happening here. Talk a little bit about the work that goes into creating this.
Well, it's really tricky, and not many people know how to do it. So in the beginning, like when we tried to establish native Prairie, to recreate Prairie, not many people knew how to do it, so we had to experiment. So we did plowing and disking and using all kinds of different techniques until we finally found techniques that worked for us. So it was a lot of trial and error. We didn't realize in the beginning that one of the big problems with big properties like this is that there's invasive exotic plants that want to take over, when you're trying to put in beautiful native plants. And so not only do you have to establish the native plants, but you have to figure out how to keep out the invasive exotic plants. So it all evolved over decades, and we're still learning. Lorna and I and my parents really were deeply inspired by beauty, and we're inspired by nature. And at the same time, we have concerns about the environment and figuring out what we could do. You know, think globally, but act locally. And so acting locally, what could we do? Well, maybe we could create a beautiful garden that could inspire people with its beauty, and then that beauty might help them to do something that they could give to nature to help the environment. The thing to understand about the property, it's a place to come and enjoy a stroll. Bring your family, bring your kids, take a walk, bring a picnic lunch. That's what we want people to do here. You know, we just want to know ahead of time that you're going to be here.
You want this to be here for generations.
You know, when you plant a bur oak tree, you know, it's not going to be something majestic for several decades at the earliest. And so we're always thinking long into the future and what would make it better. So and to make it beautiful, not just a simple nature preserve, but a nature preserve on steroids. And looking to the future with the planting of the oak trees, realizing in my lifetime, I'm not going to appreciate it as a big majestic tree, but I know it's coming.
For somebody else.
For somebody else, for future generations.
How can people support what it is you guys are doing here? Because I think there are a lot of people out there that would love to keep this protected and open.
Thank you. Well, we are a nonprofit, a 501(c), and so we welcome donations. On our website, there's a place where you can say donate and where you can send the money tax deductible to help support us, so thank you.
Henry, I want to thank you for your time today, and I really hope you get enough thank yous from the public and the visitors who are here for what you have done for not just the people in Missouri, but for all who come and see this.
Thanks. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for letting people know about us.
Next on our journey through Callaway County, we saddle up for an exploration of excellence at William Woods University's renowned Equestrian Program. Nestled in the heart of Missouri, William Woods stands as a beacon of equestrian education, where passion meets precision in every hoofbeat.
I'm Erin Cardia. I am the Dean of the School of Equestrian Studies at William Woods University in Fulton, Missouri. We were the first school in the country to have a 4-year degree program, so students could get a bachelor's degree here in equine science 50 years ago, and we still have that program today. So once people have their degree from this program, they can do a couple of things. They can still stay here for another few years and get their Master's of Equestrian Education. Most of our graduates go off to become trainers, riding instructors, they manage barns. There really is an infinite number of possibilities with horses. So our facility is really one of a kind. I will say the biggest advantage for us is that it is right here on campus. So students just have to cross a road to get over to the facility where the horses are. We house 130 to 150 horses at any time of the academic year. We also have 3 riding arenas, 2 that are indoor, so we can ride any time of the year, and 1 very large outdoor arena. I think the things that set us apart in our program compared to others is the faculty. The majority of our faculty are actually alum of this program. So they've graduated like I have, they've gone out into the professional world, they've done everything. They've been instructors, trainers, they've owned their own stables, they've run businesses. They have so much of that experience, and then they come back here and they want to teach and give that back to our students. The other super unique thing for our students is they get to compete in professional shows while they're here. They're getting a jump start in their professional career. So they're going to recognized shows, rated shows, national shows with horses that are pretty amazing. Our horses are donated by some alum, other people in the industry. We get some really nice horses here that our students have the opportunity to compete with. The equestrian program, because it's been such a staple of this university for so long, it really used to be the main draw for this university. And it's been fabulous for me to watch over the last 25 years a lot of other programs come about. Our students have more opportunities now, but this equestrian program is still a big draw. William Woods, if you say that name, it's synonymous with horses. If you go out into the industry at a horse show or any kind of event and you're wearing your William Woods gear, somebody is going to know you. There are alumni all around the world. It's a lot in this country, obviously. that are going to recognize you and know you.
Just on the other side of town from William Woods University stands the majestic Churchill Memorial. Relocated from London in the 1960s to the campus of Westminster College, the Church of St. Mary the Virgin, Aldermanbury, sits above America's National Churchill Museum. Tim Riley joins us to share the story of this incredible monument and the history it preserves.
How is it that we have a Winston Churchill museum in the middle of Missouri?
After World War II, Winston Churchill, who helped the Allies win the victory in Europe, lost an election. And it was really in the wake of that election defeat, in the summer of 1945, he received a letter from Westminster College in Fulton, asking Winston Churchill to come to the campus to give a speech. On the bottom of the note, there was a handwritten scrawl that said, "This is a wonderful school in my home state. If you come, I'll introduce you. Best regards, Harry Truman." Churchill accepted. He had lost the election, but he knew he was back in the game with the president. So that's how Churchill came to Missouri. It was really extraordinary. Without Truman's intercession, I'm convinced Churchill would not have come. But the speech that he gave on the campus here at Westminster College changed the world. It really did. It was here where Churchill warned that an iron curtain was descending across the continent. And he saw that Soviet communism was the next great world threat. And he used the Fulton platform, the Westminster College platform, to make that warning.
His visit brought masses. Can you take us back to that day or the lead up to when he actually arrived?
20,000 people gathered on the streets of Fulton to catch a glimpse of the motorcade as they went by. Almost 3,000 people huddled in the gymnasium, which was the largest building on campus, to hear Churchill's speech.
How did this all rope together and come to be?
Well, after Churchill's speech was seen as prescient. I mean, he really started the Cold War era here in Fulton. And by the 1960s, when the Cold War was raging, and the college, Westminster College, said, "We'd like to build a memorial or a tribute to the speech." And you can imagine the committees formed. Let's put up a statue, let's put up a plaque. And someone says, let's bring over a Christopher Wren church that was bombed in World War II and relocate it, rebuild it from London to Fulton and make it a memorial to Churchill. Okay, and that's what happened, right? And it was a bold move, almost as bold as inviting Churchill to Fulton in the first place. And they did it. Churchill was 88 years old. In 1963, he knew about it, and he endorsed the project.
Let's talk about the museum downstairs. Sourcing these materials that you have downstairs is a very lengthy, full of research process. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, it's a great responsibility to protect these treasures from the past. Churchill's near final draft of the Iron Curtain speech is in the archives downstairs. Those types of objects and paintings and letters and documents, these eyewitnesses to the past, these primary sources, not what a professor says about an object or what a historian says, but what the object itself says, to acquire, to catalog, to inventory, and to use those objects to inform and hopefully inspire a new generation to learn about the past. We recently added a Churchill painting. Churchill was a great, talented painter. I don't know how he found the time, but he painted over 500 canvases in his lifetime. And we preserve those in an exhibition here. We actually, 2 days ago, acquired the chair you're sitting in. These chairs were owned by Lord Randolph Churchill, Winston's father. They were at Blenheim Palace, where Churchill was born. The last king of America, George III, was alive when these chairs were made. And they've gone down throughout the ages, and now they're here to be preserved and shared.
I mean, my mind immediately goes like, did Churchill sit in these when he was a kid, or at some point?
That we don't know, but it's fun to imagine, isn't it?
Where do you think you see most people spend their time downstairs?
Well, the museum is a living history book, and the exhibits span Churchill's entire career, and then some. The legacy, the after his life, the speakers who have followed in Churchill's footsteps to Westminster College, President Reagan, Margaret Thatcher, President Gorbachev, the last president of the Soviet Union, declared the end of the Cold War from behind the same lectern that Churchill used to arguably begin it. I mean, that poetry of history is all right here. People spend a lot of time reflecting upon that here. And of course, outside, we have 8 sections of the Berlin Wall, the concrete manifestation of the Iron Curtain that Churchill warned about. It was a metaphor in 1946, and it became concrete, and it came down, and we have a section of it here. These elements woven all together make a very, very rich and almost powerful, visceral experience.
Tim, I want to thank you for your time for today. It's an amazing place to come. It's very peaceful when you come, and I thank you for putting in the work to bring this to the masses.
Thank you. It's a great story, and thank you for helping us to share it.
Callaway County is full of fantastic places and experiences, many of which you can find on the historic streets of the Brick District. In the heart of Fulton, small-town charm comes to life here in the Brick District. Stepping into this vibrant district is like taking a journey back in time. With cobblestone streets and meticulously preserved brick buildings, this area exudes a unique charm that captures the essence of a bygone era. Stroll down the picturesque streets and discover a tapestry of local businesses, each nestled within the historic walls. But the Brick District is more than just history, it's a living community. Quaint boutiques, art galleries, and cozy cafes beckon visitors to explore and savor the local offerings. Whether you're a history enthusiast, an art lover, or simply seeking a taste of small-town charm, the Brick District of Fulton has something for everyone. So as you meander through these historic streets, take a moment to appreciate the stories etched into every brick within the time-honored streets and walls. The Brick District of Fulton, a living testament to the past, but is also a vibrant hub of culture and community today. On the outskirts of the Brick District sits the charming Brick District Playhouse. Once a cinematic gem, this historic building now stands as a vibrant community hub and cafe. Philip Glenn, descendant of the original owners, remains committed to preserving the Playhouse and its long history.
The Brick District Playhouse was originally the Fulton Theater, and my granddad, Walter E. Glenn, built the theater back in 1928. It was a vaudeville and silent movie theater to start with, and it's been a theater all the way up to 2005. It was an active movie theater owned by B&B Theaters. They built a new theater in South Fulton, and they gave this facility to the community. It was in terrible shape. It had sat empty for 10 years, basically. And in 2015, the Brick District Board of Directors said, well, nothing's happening. It's a white elephant downtown. What if we tried it? We don't have any money, but we'll try it. And the rest is history. And you just wouldn't recognize the place now. My parents inherited this from my granddad, and they managed it from around late 40s until 65 or so. My memory of the place is, the long history of it. Well, I'm pretty proud of the way it looks now. And my major goal was to preserve the building. If it had remained the way it was, the city was going to have to tear it down, which would be a major expense, and it would be a loss to the community and the history thereof. So I think I've accomplished my primary objective. We've got so much money invested in this now that nobody's going to tear it down to start with. I see a community facility that people can use for all varieties of things. It's pretty flexible. We have a home group, which is a theater reaching youth and public schools, which is a children's theater out of Columbia. We have the Callaway Singers, which are home-based here, and we're hoping to get a theater production group together. It's a meeting place for organizations, it's wedding receptions, any kind of event. I look at it as an anchor for the downtown area and a help to the local businesses. It means a lot to the community if we can just keep it going.
Overlooking a serene lake with views of spectacular sunsets, Serenity Valley Winery is the perfect place to enjoy red, white, and boutique wines paired with creative menu items. Owner and winemaker Lee Rupert shared with us some of his favorite varieties.
It is beautiful out here. The property is wonderful. Tell me a little bit about what Serenity Winery is all about.
I've been making wine 30 years now, and almost 31, and I started out as an amateur, and then we came out, found this property explicitly. It was originally a private residence, and we took it and ran with it. So it's got a beautiful lake, all kinds of critters to watch, got a bald eagle that comes in all the time and steals my catfish. And all in all, it's a really restful environment for people. They can come out, have a good time.
But the real attraction here is the wines. How many different varieties do you have on hand here?
We do everything. We've got dry, sweet, semi-sweet, rosés, various type things. So we always try and make enough for everybody that meets their particular needs, because the one thing we've always identified is what's a good wine? Well, good wine's when you enjoy, and if you're the person that's going to enjoy it, you're the judge. So we have them taste it, and they go with what they want.
But the next best thing with the wonderful flavors of wine is what they pair with, right? And you guys have done something that I am not familiar with, is a winery with a pizza oven.
It was becoming somewhat popular in California, is wood-fired pizza ovens. The idea behind it was, we have different types of wine, and you can pair both white and reds, and that's what we're going to do today. And it really depends on what the ingredients are on the pizza.
Well, all right, I'm excited to give it a shot. Are we ready to get cooking here?
I think we're ready to get cooking.
All right, let's bring them out then.
This is our current special, a little bit of a thin crust, a little bit of garlic oil underneath, and then touch mozzarella and Parmesan cheese put in accordingly. You see this? And what we've got into it has been added with both the arugula, which is our greenery here, and the prosciutto. We've also finished it off with a balsamic glaze. So what we've got here is a combination. If you were to go to eat it, you're going to find a combination of a little bit of salt, a little bit of sweet, a little bit of yum. Pinot Grigio, it's a dry, crisp white. And what it'll do is kind of accent things. I always find it kind of goes really well with the Parmesan cheese and a little bit to the prosciutto, and I think it kind of moderates the salt, so it makes it a little bit more complex. Well, the red here, and this is my favorite one, and it's Nebbiolo. It's the grape variety. One of the reasons you do reds with something like prosciutto, it's got oils in it, and you've got garlic oil and everything else in there. It tends to cut down on the oils and to be in delicate fats and stuff like that. It clears the palate. But the real point on it is you're either going to like them, they complement each other, or there's going to be a contrast. That's what the pairing's all about, and it's nothing ever precise, but you just kind of go like that. You read a little bit, you try it, and you try a little bit more. We're gonna go to the red.
And do something different.
We're gonna do a little sniff on it first.
Sniff and swish.
You definitely have, because it's room temp, you have definitely a lot more. It says you can consume it any way you want, but you definitely
The technical term is sniff and swish, or swish and sniff? Is that?
I call it drinking.
All right, I think I'm gonna save a little bit of room for dessert for that apple crisp.
Let's go for it.
Let's do it.
This is, at best description, is an apple crisp
Oh yeah.
pizza.
Another little pizza.
It's a dessert pizza.
Awesome. And what we got it paired with?
Well, that one is kind of fun. It was one of the most popular. This is one of our sweeter wines, not real sweet. And this is, we call it Spring Blossom, but it's a green apple Riesling.
Smells so good.
This is it's not dessert. There's no pairing. It's just enjoy.
So where can people get your wines? Do you sell retail, or do they have to come here to get your wines?
We do retail in a variety of places. You can check on our website to find all the locations. But obviously, you can get anything here, you can drink anything here, and you can also take it home.
What is your most favorite part about Serenity Valley Winery?
Other than no mosquitoes, I would say the people that come to visit.
I hear you have killer sunsets too.
That is true. They can be really nice.
Well, thank you so much, Lee.
Pleasure.
This is delicious. I'm definitely gonna walk out with one of those reds that's your favorite.
It's called Enchanting Enigma.
Enchanting Enigma. The wine's getting to me now.
What an incredible journey it has been through the heart of Callaway County. From savoring the diverse flavors of local cuisine to delving into the pages of history and immersing ourselves in the untouched beauty of the landscape, this expedition has truly captured the essence of our beautiful state. Callaway County is absolutely proven to be an unforgettable adventure.
Here at Missouri Life, we encourage you to explore our beautiful state and experience all it has to offer. So if you're looking for a daycation or are passing through for an evening, here's a quick overnight itinerary to help you maximize your experience. Spend an afternoon at the pristine greens of Tanglewood Golf Course. Grab a handcrafted Brooklyn-style pizza at Brooklyn Pizza in the heart of Fulton's Brick District. And spend the night in the charming Uptown Loft, which overlooks the Brick District.
From all of us at Missouri Life, thanks for watching, and tune in next time to spark your spirit of discovery and experience Missouri Life.
Missouri Life magazine explores and celebrates the people, places, history, and destinations that make our state unique. Subscriptions to Missouri Life magazine are available at MissouriLife.com. For exclusive content, full episodes, and much, much more, subscribe to the Missouri Life channel on YouTube and enjoy the journey at your own pace.
I just can't take you anywhere. This area exudes unique charm that I lost the prompter. Tim, I want to just, or Henry, Tim was yesterday. As soon as I said it, I was like, that's not the right name. That's the wrong name.
I didn't do it.
Oh, shoot. Get out of here. Little gnat. Was I supposed to spit it out?
Why would you do that?
That's what I don't know. I've seen people, they smell it, they swish it around, and then they spit it into a bucket. But, I mean, I always thought that was a waste of wine, so.